Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, so we got some big news coming out today. Lots of tags happening, and I'm going to kind of run you through the franchise tags, and then I'll run you through in another video coming out right after this one, some bigger deals that happen, maybe some tenders, and then some extensions also. I'm just going to kind of split it up. I don't want to put too much in one video. So we're going to jump into the tags real quick, just some of the major ones. So the Chiefs place a non-exclusive tag on Chris Jones. That's a big deal, I think, because Chris Jones is one of the bigger names that was coming into free agency, someone who a lot of teams could benefit from having on their defensive line, and he was certainly one of the biggest pieces on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. So to keep him around for another year, definitely a plus for the Kansas City Chiefs. Good on them for being able to keep him around. So maybe they'll ink him to a new deal. We'll kind of see what happens there. Joe Thuney gets tagged by the Patriots. Honestly, that's one of the biggest ones for me personally as a Dolphins fan, because I was really hoping and praying that the Dolphins would be able to get a shot at this guy in free agency. I love Joe Thuney. I think he's really good. He's been nothing but consistent, barely gives up sacks, no penalties. He's a very solid offensive lineman, and he's only 27 years old, so I like him a lot. It's smart for the Patriots to tag him, keep him around, maybe try to get him a new contract going, so that's a nice move for them. Cardinals and the Giants, not the biggest tags in the world, but I mention them. Cardinals tag Kenyon Drake, the running back. He stepped up to the plate and played really good football for them after he came over from the Dolphins. I think that's a smart move. The Giants place a tag on Leonard Williams. Also think that's a smart move because he was looking like he wanted some top dollar in the free agency. So demanding a big contract, I think it's smart. Tag him, see what he does this next year, and then you can kind of get a good gauge of whether you should pay him or not. So we'll see what happens there. So some other tags that are more of a very big news. So Cowboys do franchise tag Dak Prescott. That's a big deal because they've got three key guys coming into free agency who, one of them was definitely going to get tagged. We weren't sure who. You got Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, and Byron Jones. And I was definitely leaning more towards Dak Prescott getting tagged. He had a good season last year, but I just really don't think that he's, worthy of that, top pay for the quarterbacks, $30 million and over. I don't see him as that kind of guy. He's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. But I just don't see him in the same caliber as, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, even Patrick Mahomes. I think that he's, a very B-tier kind of quarterback. So tagging him, I think, is smart. We'll see what happens there. Maybe it's a tag and trade. Maybe they try to ink him to a new deal. We'll see what happens there. But Dak is, for sure, regardless of what happens this next season, he's going to want a very high salary. So we'll see what the Cowboys plan on doing with this. It's kind of interesting to me that they would tag him. Because they're going to have to eventually ink him to a deal or trade him. So we'll see what happens there. Now, one of the biggest ones for free agency was Derrick Henry getting tagged. Ryan Tannehill got a contract. Now, that's the one that was surprising to me because I was actually expecting Tennessee to go ahead and tag Ryan Tannehill rather than, keep him around for a huge deal or let him walk with the way that he played. So the fact that they were able to keep Ryan Tannehill it was a huge contract. Honestly, I think it was a little over what he deserves, but a good contract for Ryan Tannehill, and then tag Derrick Henry. They keep around their best player on their team. Derrick Henry is undoubtedly the best offensive player that they've got. Arguably even the best offensive player in the league. But to keep him around, that's a huge deal. We'll see if they're able to sign him to a new contract coming in for this next year. I think that would be really helpful to them. Let's see here. We've got the Bengals tagging AJ Green. That's, not the biggest news to me. I was expecting that to happen. I didn't think that the Bengals were just going to let him walk. And I certainly didn't think they were going to give him a new contract, especially with him being just injury prone the last couple of years. He missed the entire 2019 season with his ankle injury. So we'll see what happens with him if he's going to, see much of the field this next year. If they get Joe Burrow, that would be a nice combination. Joe Burrow and AJ Green is a dynamic duo right there. So let's see what else. We got some smaller ones. I've got the Steelers placing a tag on Bud Dupree. He showed out last year. He had a good year. So up until last year, it was kind of like, he's just a raw talent. He's very athletic, but he doesn't really do anything that well. So is he going to bring that much to your football team? Last year, he showed he clearly can. So, he got after the quarterback enough last year to really, kind of make a name for himself and earn a tag at least. So good on the Steelers for keeping him around for a year. Speaking of high sack volume guys. Shaq Barrett from the Bucks receives a tag. So, yeah, let's see here. The Bucks tag him. He was a killer player for them last year, man. I mean, what do you have, 19 and a half sacks, or is that 16 and a half sacks? 19 and a half sacks. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But, I mean, he absolutely killed it. He was dominant. I wasn't sure if they were going to hand him a new contract just because it was his, kind of breakout year. He didn't do a whole lot in Denver. I mean, I know they kind of buried him in the depth chart. They didn't give him a whole lot of opportunity. But, I mean, to break out like you did on the Bucks, I'm not really sure that they were going to give him a big contract, and I didn't think that they were going to let him walk either. So tagging him is definitely the right move there. So we will see what happens there, and that looks kind of like that's the only tags that I've got to go over with you guys. Yeah, so it looks like it's it. So stay tuned. I'm going to put out one more video here. I'm going to talk about some signings, some extensions, a couple of tenders that I'd like to talk about with you guys, kind of keep you updated on everything. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Hit the bell so you guys know when I'm letting videos like this out, just so I can kind of keep you guys updated. And yeah, for sure, subscribe, help the channel grow. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these tags. My next video is talking about extensions and tenders. Let me know what you think about those. If you like my takes on them, you disagree, you think they're bad signings or bad tenders, let me know. We'll talk about them. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. As always, fins up.